In the previous video, when we talked about the activation of your quadriceps muscles to create a knee extension torque about your knee joint to support your body weight when running, we made the simplification that all the quadricep muscles were just kind of functioning like one unit, and we didn't really pay much attention to all of the other muscles that cross the knee joint, of which, as you can see, there are quite a lot. In this video, I want to introduce you to the topic of muscle activation strategies, which is also the topic of problem set 4. So we've seen animations like this before, but what's going on here, I think you finally know enough to understand all of what's going on. So the green arrow you're seeing bounce up from the ground, that's the ground reaction force. So that's the force your body's pushing into the ground with to counteract the force of gravity acting on your body center of mass that we drew in that simplified sketch of what's going on when you run on an Ultra-G treadmill. And each of these either blue or red lines are different muscles, and those are modeled just like we learned about with regards to having a force-length relationship, having a force-velocity relationship, exerting some amount of force about some moment arm across a joint, and they're being colored by what the estimated muscle activation status is, from blue being 0, the muscle's completely off, to bright red being 100%, the muscle's producing the maximum force that it's capable of producing. Now, something very interesting is going on here, which is that the knee extension torque, like what's being produced on the left side right now, and what's being produced on the right side right now, that knee extension torque, as you know, is the product of all of the muscles crossing the knee joint, or at least all of the muscles that create knee extension torque. Each of those forces multiplied by their respective moment arms. So each of the 4 quadriceps, for example, right? Each of these individual muscles that are lighting up right now, those produce slightly different amounts of force, and they have slightly different moment arms about the knee joint, because the distance from the center of the knee joint to that muscle is different. And the question of muscle activation strategies is, given this broad range of possible ways to activate your muscles to accomplish to generate the amount of torque that you need to do a particular type of exercise, there's a huge variety. In fact, there's an infinite set of possible muscle activations. The question is, how does your body choose which one to use? Because out of a huge infinite set, you choose just one. And that is something that's very important with regards to sports performance specifically. Something very interesting that you see, especially in endurance athletes, but also in weightlifters or other skill-based sports, is you can see improvements in the task without improvements in some of the traditionally measured physiological parameters like VO2 max or muscle cross-sectional area. One of the ways you can continue to improve as, say, you get older in an endurance sport or in a strength sport is not by increasing your VO2 max or increasing your muscle cross-sectional area, but by recruiting your muscles in a more efficient or economical or effective way. Likewise, there might be some important implications for injury prevention. Activating muscles in a particular way might be less injurious than activating them in a different way. To pick an extreme example, suppose your body was choosing to activate just one of your 4 quadricep muscles to generate all of the knee extension torque it needed. Somehow, it seems like that would be suboptimal in the sense of like spreading out the force. Although problem set 4 explores this. So the part of problem set 4 that is open-ended response is trying to get you to think about what might some of the factors that your body uses be. So what's going into however your brain selects this muscle activation pattern, and we don't really 100% know how it does that. What might be going on? What factors might it be considering, and how might those be relevant to performance, to injury, to health, and so on.